You know, I guessed that you would be the only one who would dare to come here. You've got courage.
Yo, yo, yo. The GETCHO podcast crew is in the building.
Yo.
I gotta say, this is pretty, exciting. You know what I'm saying? Gotta give a shout out to the Circle Debate Network. Shout out.
Shout out the devious one, Ivan.
Thank you for letting us be on the Circle Debate. See, everybody's good fams to us. But guys, it's been a while since we were all together doing the episode. I gotta say, how's everybody been? What type of wrestling fan have you been since the last time? Garn, I know it's been a while for you. Why don't we go with you first?
Oh, man. Just like Linkin Park, I have made my triumphant return. So, my fandom this while is called Blast from the Past fan.
Okay.
I'm going to be very specific niche.
Okay.
It's Blast from the Past, as in from the movie Blast from the Past by Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I can just explain it because this movie's been out for like 40 years or something like that. So
right.
It's like Brendan Fraser and his family were they lived in the 60s, and then there's 50s, and during that time there was like nuclear. There was fear of any nuclear attack and war and stuff. So the father builds a big bomb shelter to protect themselves. Suddenly, like a satellite was falling fell from the sky and landed in their backyard, and they freaked out. So they put themselves in this bomb shelter, but it has a time lock that they cannot open for 30 years. So think about someone from the 50s just sitting there, just not knowing what's going on in the world outside for a while, and then suddenly 30 years later, the lock's unopened. They come out and they notice the whole world is like crazy and angry and stuff. That's how I felt, especially when I saw All Out, where I started seeing matches. When I started seeing crazy matches with the women, when I started seeing syringes coming out of people's mouths, when I saw Daniel Bryan getting smothered in a plastic bag like a small child. So it threw me to a loop for someone who hasn't watched wrestling in a while.
You're probably like wondering what happened to the wrestling that you loved, right? Is that the situation?
Yeah, exactly. What happened to the whole I'm gonna get you this and this, and I suddenly see gang warfare and attempted murders everywhere in AEW. So it freaked me out. So I end up crawling back to my little hole for a little bit, waiting for it to cool down.
but hold on. Backtracking here. Aren't you and Charlie, shout out Charlie, aren't you guys the ones that showed me all the death matches from like New Japan back in the day? So first off, Charlie introduced me to like the CZW stuff, and that still freaked me out. I remember seeing like my first match. I couldn't bear to watch it. Like they had like those crazy backyard matches, and they use crazy weapons. Foreshadowing here, I could not even. I remember he's showing me that I just could not like bear to watch it. But yet, like some of the wrestling, it was fun, but then like the crazy violence on those and like I used to watch. I loved ECW, totally love ECW, and I was like a big I was ECW back then, but compared to CZW, I was like, oh no, right,
completely different level. Yeah, okay, so it kind of took me back.
a blast from the past type of wrestling fan. Shout out Brendan Fraser. Poppy, what type
Yeah.
of wrestling fan were you, by the way?
Well, before I answer what kind of wrestling fan I've been this week, I want to acknowledge Batter on. I
Shout out,
hope I
shout out.
pronounced the name. Thanks for everyone watching. By the way, appreciate you guys commenting on there. What's up to all y'all? And I'm gonna answer the question. So he says, "What's actually gonna happen on this stream debate?" Question mark. Well, honestly, we're gonna shoot the shit. We're gonna talk about the kind of wrestling fan we've been. So I encourage everyone in the chat to also just tell us what kind of wrestling fan you've been this week. Describe your wrestling fandom. We're gonna talk about news and rumors. We're gonna talk about winners and losers in the wrestling week. And then we got a segment called Sweaty Sessions. In case there's any new listeners here on the Circle of Debate channel, I want you guys to slowly ease into it and, be a little patient and a little gentle with us. It is our first time live streaming. And, we always remember our first time, and we're glad it's with you guys right here.
Facts. I mean, sometimes you don't know
Mhm.
where to put it, right? You don't know how long it's gonna last.
Yeah,
But it was a good time. In the end, it was a good time. The 5 seconds they lasted.
You'll
wanna
be
shout out
very
to-
satisfied.
Okay.
We're gonna satisfy your earlobe. But
It's
yes, we
pronounced
will be hitting the
Bater.
comments.
Yeah.
I see Ivan in here. What's up, Ivan? Just in time. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Dom, what's up? I see a lot of y'all. Tammy, Kayla,
Yeah.
what's good?
Yeah. So back to your question, Just type of wrestling fan. So I'm gonna just put it all out there and let it hang. I've been a fully erect wrestling fan, and what I mean by that, guys, is that everything in my fandom has fully titillated the juices of my guilty pleasures. You have Judgment Day coming out on top, attacking Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Then you had Jey Uso, who you know what, like I like Jey Uso, but he got cooked by Braun Breaker, getting speared at the end. He's one of the worst people to make saves. You have Andrade over on SmackDown getting dubs and now looking like the number one contender for the U.S. title. Roman Reigns is back. That's the biggest reason why I'm fully erect. NXT, it's going to come over to Chicago on the CEW. It's going to make his debut. It's going to be here. CM Punk's going to be there. A lot of good shit. A lot of good stuff there. So that's the kind of wrestling fan I've been, fully erect, because every kind of content has fully erected my wrestling fandom.
Okay, quick question. Sorry to interrupt here, but when you mean fully erect, was it naturally or you had supplements?
We do
not
the all natural.
Garn, I do not, nor can you prove that I take performance enhancing drugs.
The GETCHO Netflix special's coming soon.
What about you, homie? Just what you been? What you been?
Okay,
what kind of wrestling fan you been?
Okay, I don't know how many of these are still out there, but you remember Cold Stone, right? Cold Stone ice cream.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when you go there,
Love it.
right? They have the like it, love it, or gotta have it, right?
Yeah.
So in that category, that's the type of wrestling fan I've been. I've been a kind of a Cold Stone type of wrestling fan, right? Because there's just been a lot of stuff that I like. Then I see things that's going on with Judgment Day and the progression of them. I love that, right?
Yes.
Then I see everything, kind of a nostalgia being brought back. There's Raw possibly being brought back to 2 hours, right? Possibly the Fist, you know what I'm saying, from SmackDown might come back on the set. So I gotta have that, right?
Yeah.
I gotta have that. So that's the type of wrestling fan I've been. It's kind of a Cold Stone wrestling fan. You know what I'm saying? You got Jey Uso out here shooting his shot on Rhea, talking about if he's in the, that he's not out of her league.
Right.
So what's not to hate?
It's been good stuff. Man.
It's been good stuff.
But yeah.
Good mix.
Again, guys in the chat, let us know what kind of wrestling fan you guys have been.
Facts.
But yeah, let's
dive into a couple things real quick, okay?
Yeah.
So I know that there was a couple things that happened outside of the ring, right? You had the UFC thing that happened recently, right? I actually didn't watch the UFC, but I just know that a bunch of WWE people were there. Obviously, you had Dom and Rey Mysterio there, right? Continuing their "I hate you, Dad," son and father feud that they had, because they showed Dom first, and they showed Rey Mysterio second, and then the boos and everything. But the one thing that got me, Vince, if you got it, is the Nate Diaz, Stephanie McMahon interaction.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Garn, have you seen this?
I have not actually.
Okay. We know that they're all under one roof now, UFC and WWE, right? So obviously, one would think like, okay, some of them have to be homies with each other, right? Just as things
Yeah.
happen. But check this video out, okay?
Hold on, give me just 1 sec. You didn't prep me for it. You didn't give me like no
Oh, oh, oh,
signal.
oh.
No,
My bad,
no,
my
no.
bad.
It's all right. Like we say, guys, it's our first time. It's our first time.
First time jitters.
Yeah.
The bodega has only a certain connection. Okay, here you go. Check this out. Right, Stephanie McMahon, Nate Diaz. One would think
There.
these people aren't that cool. You know what I'm saying? One would think that they may not know each other.
Right. Let me see. There you go. Look at that dab. Look at that dab.
Look at that dab.
Look at that
That
smile.
dab. Look at this, and then look at Triple H's reaction. It's like there had to be some type of inside joke there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Maybe
Right,
maybe
right
Nate
now,
Diaz
yeah.
came with the maybe Nate Diaz came like, can I join the Stephanie Kiss My Ass Club?
No. Look.
This reminds me of that. I'm gonna say this reminds me of that segment where DX was talking to Crime Time. Stephanie McMahon is playing Shawn Michaels talking to Crime Time, and then Triple H
Right.
is in the background, just like, oh, okay, yeah, and then for shizzle. That's it. It reminds me of that right now.
Oh,
I
for
just
real.
never thought that these two would be homies as is how they are right there.
Dude, Nate
I
Diaz
mean, the
is like
dab.
so random, so random to be like just like chilling with the McMahons and whatnot. And you don't really see Stephanie out and about lately, so it's nice to see her out there. You'd
She's still
love to
looking
see the little
good.
camaraderie. Is that the word? Yeah,
I feel you. Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still looking good. Still looking good.
yeah. But yeah, no, it was good shit. It was good shit. Hold up,
It was good
time
shit.
out.
Hopefully that's what's more to expect from UFC. In this leading coming months, the interaction like that. But moving on forward, NXT is going to be coming to Chicago, right? We already talked
Right.
about that, so that's
Oh
definitely a
yeah.
winner. So moving
Mhm.
on to winners and losers of this wrestling week, I gotta say the improvements on NXT as of late have been a huge win, right?
Yeah.
You have everything that's going on. I mean, I don't know how you feel about Tyler Halliburton showing up on NXT, Vince, but I did like his one line that he said that it's okay to boo because that's Orlando Magic's aren't doing
Right.
so good, so he took a little dab at Orlando Magic. But
Hey,
Yeah.
look,
listen,
the man
the
looking nice
incorporation of
though.
celebrities and everything,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's dope to me.
for sure. Not look, man. First off, I want to address like TC over there hitting us up on the group chat. TC from Young Kings Wrestling, shout out to them.
Shout out,
Check out the
happy
palace if you haven't.
belated, happy
Happy
belated.
belated birthday, by the way. And dude, like he's over here talking about like Halliburton's my boy. I'm like, bro, like dude's nice. I like him, but like I'm not like a big like Tyrese Halliburton guy.
You know,
But I
Indiana
do,
Pacers, Indiana Pacers.
man. I'm Chicago Bulls. Indiana's right there.
No,
Like
I
they're
know,
on
yeah,
on the
yeah.
border. You can't really like can't give them too much love. Especially in those Reggie Miller days with the Bulls. You can't. You really can't, honestly. But it
No
was
one
cool
could.
to see.
Facts.
It was cool to see like more celebrities interacting in WWE product and content like that. It's honestly genuinely cool to see because you see the popularity, and
Uh-huh.
Tyrese is actually a fan, which I do genuinely appreciate.
Facts.
I also feel like these celebrities they're selecting are very genuine fans. It's not like when they did Raw guest hosts, and most of the
Mhm.
time it's just like they're just doing a promotion.
Right.
Some of them are not really like a true fan, but like lately it's like, oh, it's some of the people who are actual fans of the product is actually like supporting it and actually being a part of it instead of
Mhm.
like being ashamed and be like, oh, I'm just doing it because there's a lot of people watch it. I'm not into it, but at least they're giving these people are actually giving their all, like where these celebrities are actually coming in, they're actually
Put in the
putting
work.
effort into it,
Yeah.
put in the
Honestly.
work.
Not half-assed. Like they look like they're
Mhm.
enjoying themselves. I'm gonna hit the chat for this one.
Okay.
Dom says right here, He says winner is us being on the YouTube channel, and the loser is the other people don't get to have us. Yo, shout out.
Hey,
Uh,
shout out Don. We appreciate the love, man. At least we're getting love. Unlike Ivan, man, he's over here.
yeah.
He likes to put me in the corner. You know, he likes to give me a few licks. You know.
Listen. I told you we ain't gonna have this Jerry Springer who's the poppy situation. You know,
Right. I already had a race for Pornhub Poppy over on SmackDown Raw.
you don't want to have
beat
another
the,
one. You don't want
I
another
beat
one.
the rest.
Oh, hell
man.
no.
But,
But okay. Another winner, right?
Yeah.
Another winner, right, is Hell in a Cell. Okay.
Yes.
CM Punk,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, Drew McIntyre. To me, I like everything that's going on for Hell in a Cell. I know CM Punk's Hell in a Cell matches haven't been like the best. The last one he had, I think, was against Ryback, right? If we're
Bro,
going all
what-
the way back.
Why you gotta
If
bring
we're talking
up
about
Ryback?
WWE,
I mean, I don't ever want to say that person's name, but I think
Right.
that was his last one, right?
I think
And then
so.
he like threw Paul Heyman from the top. I don't know. Paul Heyman was up there too for some reason.
Yeah. I think he GTS'd them on the top of the steel.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what happened there.
Yeah. So I'm sure that this Hell in a Cell with Drew is going to be way more brutal. You know what I'm saying, than that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm just looking forward to it because Hell in a Cell growing up, guys, obviously has always felt like a blow off match. You know, for a
Yeah.
big time feud, this is where you go and do it. And honestly, they've added that element to Hell in a Cell because before it was like, oh, it's this Hell in a Cell time on the calendar. Let's figure something out and make it make sense to have people in the cell. Now it actually makes all the sense in the world to have CM Punk and Drew McIntyre culminate and climax in the Hell in a Cell. No pun intended. But I don't know, man. Well, we got to see that. Does this mean event? Does this like somewhere in the middle of the show? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, you talk about like the placement of the match.
Yeah, of the match. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, right? Because like the champion hasn't really been closing the show, right? I mean, last time Cody
No.
went on first, right? He went on first on SmackDown.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, for me, how would you feel if this started it?
that would be fine, perfectly fine.
Yeah. Set
Yeah,
the tone.
it's either has to be the first or the last. To be honest, especially with the Hell in Cell, they're not going to do back-to-back Hells. They're not going to. It's good. It's going to be very hard to discredit Roman Reigns coming back and putting him in
Right.
first. I would say,
Mm-hmm.
Because their storyline is more ongoing than what Drew and Punk is doing. So
Right.
it feels like it's going to be a first match. I think.
All right.
I wouldn't mind it. We also want to give a huge shout out to the mega producer himself, right? Producer of all music, right?
Yeah.
Y'all already know Jaden on the beat. Shout out, who did our music intro. But yeah, like for me, you know, I don't know how Drew McIntyre is going to be in the Hell in a Cell. I think he's so huge, but I'm still here for it. Okay, here's the other thing. If I have to give a loser, right?
Right.
And I don't know how you feel. Shout out Temple. What's up, Temple? Ricochet on AEW since being on there has really not been hitting for me.
Man.
Like,
You know what? If he's not a loser, he's definitely not a winner. You know, he's definitely not a winner for sure.
I mean, the aggressive claps, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And saying how everyone's calling him out. And like you
Yeah.
see Will Ospreay trying to like give him the most respect, and he's just like not the vibe is just not there with Ricochet for me. And I just feel like he's trying to be a bad guy and he just doesn't come off as any. Like, did you see his promo today?
No, I didn't actually get a
Okay.
chance to catch
So
that.
his promo after his match, like he was cutting a promo on Will Ospreay, the man in the back, and this dude could not breathe. Like he was having a semi low key asthma attack. Like he was like, okay, so everyone's trying to call me out, and I'm gonna give you the first opportunity. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, just you're
Like-
taking too long to just set up this match with Will Ospreay. Just say we're gonna fight,
Yeah.
and that be done. You know?
Bro, he out here is like it sounds like he's out here sounding like Stevie from How I Met Your from Malcolm in the Middle, like Steve. He's taking like 5.
With his inhaler?
Yeah,
With his inhaler?
yeah, taking a an inhaler
Ah,
sip every single
facts,
time.
facts. Hell
Oh
yeah,
man!
hell
Shout out
yeah.
to the Samoan Watchmen. Shout out to Young Kings. Shout out to Marks and Mikes joining the stream. We appreciate
Shout out
y'all.
to the homies. Shout out to the
Yo,
Yeah,
shout
homies.
out.
trying to get those first time jitters out of the way.
Yeah, but no, for real. But okay, but Garn, let
Yeah.
us know. Ricochet on AEW. You haven't given an opportunity to really speak on that since you haven't been on, but
Yeah, it's just I know he's excited for the matches. I just wish he didn't talk.
yeah,
I think it's just
Right.
yeah,
in WWE he was not like a speaker where he could convey his feelings well. And
Right.
it sounds every time he tries to convey like he's happy or he's excited or he's upset, it's all the same tone. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Honestly.
It's just like you can't really tell if he's like upset or if he's happy or whatnot. So he's definitely one of those wrestlers that would benefit with a mouthpiece. It would have been nice to have been like, I don't know, like Leo Rush could be his mouthpiece at one point,
Well,
Yeah.
or someone like his caliber who understands his speed and like his style. Has to be someone who could relate to that, but who could talk.
it's just crazy, right? That a guy like him was able
Mhm.
to pick up a girl like Samantha Irvine, and it's like, what
Mhm.
type of charisma and what did you do?
Exactly.
Because there sure wasn't any pickup lines that you use. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can't think of
Um,
any that he might have used because based on his promo skills. Do you guys remember way back when EC3 was called up to the main roster and they gave him like a mute gimmick where he just wouldn't talk on the mic?
yeah.
Or
Mhm.
I think that's what the gimmick that Ricochet should be given. He should just be given like a mute gimmick, and he just doesn't talk. He gets close to the mic, he just doesn't say anything. He starts wrestling. Like
Dude,
someone
he should
called him
Is
do.
out.
he?
He should do what Darby Allin used to do. Have the fucking signs with the
Right?
words. You know what I mean? Like he should have
No,
Oh,
that.
no,
that's Sammy.
no.
Oh, was
That's
that
Sammy.
Sammy? Oh, was that Sammy?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
was Sammy, and like in the commercials with the signs.
Yeah, okay, that was Sammy
Yeah.
Guevara. Okay.
He
But yeah.
could be Wile E. Coyote, with with the
Oh,
signs, like.
Oh, I got it. He should become a vaudevillain because vaudevillains are just
they
black
don't
and
say
white.
that.
They
He's gonna
have
have to
talking
grow.
pictures.
He's gonna have to grow that mustache if he's gonna be a vaudevillain.
Right.
Oh, he
He
could
has to
do
do the
it.
whole
He
like.
should be a vaudevillain. No.
We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna take a little liberty here and like talk about my winners and losers real quick.
Go for
And
it.
obviously, I think we're all winners because the tribal chief Roman Reigns came back and injecting some more life into this bloodline feud for sure. And we're gonna get more Roman Reigns this upcoming Friday night on SmackDown. More interaction with Cody. We're slowly building up to Survivor Series. It's right around the corner. We're like 2 months away. It doesn't feel like it. It really felt like we were wondering how they were going to get to Survivor Series War Games and how they were going to set up Bloodline Civil War if that is indeed the direction. But Roman being there, maybe Jimmy comes back soon, Jay comes back soon. I'm hoping that Cody Rhodes isn't the dude that isn't Team Roman for War Games. I'm hoping that's not the route to go with, but I do like seeing Roman back on my TV screen. And loser, I'm gonna have to give it to Tony D'Angelo over on NXT. Look,
Oh, I
I,
was just
I know
about
I'm
to
gonna
bring
catch
this
some
up.
flack
Oh.
by
Oh,
my boy Matt
oh,
Ritter on the Smack Raw
Ooh.
podcast, but he has a little bit of crisis of confidence going on right now. He walked out on his match against Hammerstone yesterday, as of the recording of this episode. Then last week he paid Hammerstone to take care of Obafemi because he couldn't do it, and Hammerstone got that ass cooked. And
Ugh.
then he got that ass cooked by Obafemi himself at No Mercy. So now he doesn't know if he really is the Don. Obviously, he got a little pep talk by Adriana Rizzo. We'll see what happens with the Don, but he's not really feeling like a Don of NXT at the moment. So for this specific week, given his situation, he's a loser in my book.
Yeah, I mean,
mhm.
to walk away because he's always so confident all the time in his in-ring performance.
Wait.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a whole build up to Obafemi, right? They're showing like, not after you have a match with him, you just like mentally you're just not prepared afterwards, right?
Right.
So I can see a story being built up there. It's just like a situation that you don't want to see your Don be into, So
I wonder if
hopefully
they're
it's a safety
yeah
recovery. It's a fast recovery.
yeah. I hope it's either that or they're building another storyline where maybe like Stax takes over the family at one point.
Stacks? I
It's
don't know.
gonna.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I
Because
mean,
it seemed like
we've
he
all
was doubting him. He was doubting him for sure.
yes,
I don't
yes.
know.
I'm just saying could be just another way of long term story building. That's all.
For sure.
True,
Maybe
true. But
maybe they're gonna have Tony come up,
Hmm.
so they have to find a way to like have him gracefully leave in a way. I guess
Right.
NXT. So I don't
I
know.
also
It's a
think too,
possibility.
it's also putting awareness out there because lately representation is key, right? So maybe it's
Mhm.
representation on people who have performance issues. You know, like maybe this is a subtle way as a metaphor for people who have like, you know, limp type issues, who might have certain issues in the bedroom that just the performance isn't just there as what it used to be.
Yeah.
You follow me, or am I the only one
No,
here?
no, no. I see what you're talking about. Like, if he starts coming out promoting Blue Chew during his matches, like how like when they do PLEs and they have promotions for like Dude Wipes or Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever or
Right,
Slim
right.
Jims. Like, if Tony D starts wrestling and then you see promotion videos and Titantron's LEDs around the ring for Blue Chew, then yeah, that's exactly the direction they're going with it.
I
um,
mean, I don't want to. I mean, maybe the D in Tony D is kind of has an erectile dysfunction issue type of thing.
yeah.
You mean lowercase d?
Oh,
Ooh.
yo. So maybe that's
Sounding
maybe that's
more
what's bringing up to light. Maybe that's what they're
sounding
bringing up to light.
he's sounding more like Tony Ed right now.
Oh, oh, snap.
um, shout out to
Oh,
Temple Plays right now. He's saying Obafemi should do what Keith Lee did in NXT, hold both the North American and NXT title, and gives up the North American title. And where the winner is determined in the ladder match, Tony D wins it there. Maybe question mark. Dallas Cash says Oba got that Black Air Force One energy.
Oh,
Yes,
facts, facts,
straight up. Yes.
facts. Shout out to Dallas Cash. Follow him on the Humble Roses podcast. Check him out. Marks and Bites. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
No.
mean, those are all great. Those are all great. Shout out to Dallas and shout
yeah.
out to Temple. But yeah, I mean, like everything overall has been good. I mean, the only question I have for you guys, right? Like,
Right.
what is to expect once WWE or Raw is on Netflix?
Me personally, I think we can expect a little bit of growing pains initially because they're gonna obviously adjust it to 2 hour time slot because I don't know when that's gonna happen, but it's definitely happening either next week or the next couple in 2 weeks time, but it's definitely happened. So there's going to be growing pains there. Eventually it's going to go on Netflix. Will it go back to 3 hours? Will it go back to 2? Trying to find that line because obviously they said it would be uncensored. Raw will be uncensored. It'll be raw action, no, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
And with that being the case, sometimes the reins are let loose, and just like Goku in Dragon Ball Z, when he takes the weighted training gear off, like the sweatbands, the boots, and the top, he has to adjust to the speed that now his body has. So there's going to
Mm.
be an adjustment period there for the raw talent to be like, okay, how much can I go? When learn when to dial it back, when to like really hit the gas pedal, and when you need to hit the nos.
Okay, Dom Toretto reference. Get your Fast and Furious. No, I feel you. I feel you. For me personally, like, of course, a lot of people want them to. What did I say? Oh, yeah, I feel you. Shout out. For me though, I know a lot of people wanted to be like more edgier, right, on
Right.
Netflix, right? I feel they could go that route, but remember they're also gonna have a live audience too. So there's only so much they can really do, right? When it comes to this edginess that people are thinking that they should do.
Exactly.
Um for me, I think the one thing is I think we saw it because they're not because Death Rebel is gonna probably no longer be with WWE anymore. Like just the music, man. Just the theme music need to be better.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
speaking
Like
of
I
theme
mean, like
music,
it, when you hear somebody's music, like especially like back in the Attitude Era, or even
mhm.
like when CFOs were doing their music, like you knew who every wrestler was, right? They
Yeah,
all had that
exactly.
like they all had that like certain beat, right? Now I don't even know when Sheena Baszler's coming out. I know that she's there when I see her, but when her music hits, I'm like, who's that?
If it wasn't for the Titan, all the Titantrons saying the person's name, I don't think I would really know who the fuck is who coming out. And it's worse at the Royal Rumble the last couple years because it's like, oh, who's that? Oh,
Oh,
it's
right.
fucking Shayna Baszler. Oh, but Death Rebel supposedly won't be having their contracts extended or renewed, what have you. I saw stuff out and about in the ether, so to speak, that Triple H and WWE are looking to like go with more like mainstream music, like more that kind of stuff. So we might be
I
seeing
like that.
more of like what they did with SmackDown with Megan Thee Stallion uh, being the theme song for SmackDown, the official theme song. I thought it was just for that episode,
Uh-huh.
but no, it looks like we got hip hop on SmackDown, and I'm all for it. I love it. How do you
Yeah,
guys
same.
feel about that?
I'm okay with it. I know
Huh.
some. I know there's mixed reviews of the actual song.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the Kid Boo
Yeah.
reference. Oh, that was good. That was good. Just destroy everything. Facts. But I see.
um,
I know the Megan Thee Stallion song is kind of mixed reviews, but
right.
so was the original SmackDown song too. Remember, it was just like do 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 do. You know, like the original one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, I'll say this. Look, it was better than that ACDC song that they had when they debuted on Fox. That does not get
Oh,
you pumped up for SmackDown. Like it's not a bad song, but it's not a pro wrestling theme song. It's just like
Mhm.
something that you play while you're on a road trip to Nashville or something.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like around like 2014, 2011.
No. It was way when they first showed up on Fox 5 years ago, like
Oh, okay.
2019.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't feeling that too.
okay.
I know the one you're
Yeah,
talking
that
about.
was pretty
Yeah, that was
weak.
horrible. I mean, I did like when they used "Beautiful People." Like that
Beautiful
was tight.
people. That
Oh yeah,
that was tight. Top one.
that was a
That's tier right
banger.
there. Yeah, for sure. Um, Garn, do you got any winners and losers of the wrestling week?
Oh, my winners and losers. Mine's kind of general because I'm looking overall picture, and the relationship with TNA and WWE with NXT is actually, I feel, is like a big winner just for the fact AEW tried to do it first, and it never really came off well. Even if it was a surprise, but then it stopped completely. So with what WWE is doing, yes, they're sprinkling it here and there, so it's
Mhm.
just enough, but it's not enough where it's like one company is overwhelmed with the other.
No,
Um,
I like that.
yeah. So
I
I
agree,
yeah
Garn.
with the little bit of, and they're featuring talent that would hardly be on regular the NXT.
Hmm.
So it's good exposure for both. You know. Um, Loser. Oh, actually, no. I'll have another winner. I am this the Judgment Day and Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley uh,
The, te- the Terror
feud.
Twins. The Terror Twins.
Yeah, yeah. That that feud. It's. I'm starting to catch on. I'm starting to like it. Just the fact that usually when they beat up like Priest and Rhea for days and days, weeks, that means they're going to try and bring more people in to help.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm right now trying to imagine who will come in to jump in and you know help this team, help Priest and Rhea out, and I'm like trying. it starts to get my mind going, to try to figure out. Oh, maybe is it like maybe something outside of WWE that
I
hasn't been
mean,
signed yet, or something current roster.
I
So
mean, Jay Uso tried to make the save,
Yeah.
and that's
yeah,
the dude that's been associated the most. He
Yeah.
looks like he's going to be preoccupied with Braun Breaker, especially with a title match next week for sure.
yeah,
Um, they're going to have to recruit somebody, and obviously it's looking like it could be LWO. They took out Rey Mysterio last week. Rey Mysterio didn't show up this week. LWO still have a bone to pick there. So it could be LWO. It could just be like that. Obviously Damian Priest is still Latino, so there's going to be that mutual love for each other. You got to support one another. But yeah, so it could be that.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, if they're doing a 3-on-3 where it's going to be like Finn, JD, and Dom, then I could see them, including Jay in that, or might do like a mixed match challenge where they do Finn, Dom, and Liv, right? Because that's the main storyline.
Yeah.
With so then they'll have, Damian,
and then
Rhea,
yeah,
and Jay. That makes more sense. To kind of tag on with that, Jay, like we were talking about this off air, Jay's got to show up quicker than he has been to make these saves.
Dude,
Like how
no.
you
Yeah.
gonna wait? How you gonna wait till like they're brutally beaten to like dudes?
Okay.
I mean, he came out like what his
okay.
second coup de grace? Like
Fitz, before you say anything too,
Yeah, go.
just he has this bad habit, and you definitely saw it at WrestleMania where he slowly came out to try to save Cody. So
yeah, I mean, he was like he started dancing. Like remember how he came out this Monday?
Yeah.
yeah,
He goes out, right? His music hits. He waits like about like a good 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds before he even comes out to the stage. He comes out to the stage and he's like bobbing and weaving.
It's like
He's
Jeff
like, let me
Hardy?
rub my
Yeah.
hands real quick. Let me get some friction going. And he starts running, but like it's like the slowest run, and he's like going. He's like a brisk jog, more
Right.
than
He's
a
like
run.
scoping this. Like, dude,
It's-
your friends are getting beat up.
it's
For
not as
real.
bad as Jeff Hardy's return. I mean, on AEW when he was supposed to save Matt Hardy like immediately. Oh no, TNA. He was trying to
TNA, it
save
was
Matt
TNA,
Hardy right away.
TNA.
He spent 30 seconds dancing first while Matt Hardy was getting his ass beat. Then he started running and saving him.
Hey, you know what?
I
Maybe
mean,
he came out there and Jeff, for a split second there, remembered that Matt Hardy was the reason why all those pyro went off on him on SmackDown a couple years back. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the entrance I didn't get to do because of the fireworks, and then
Yeah.
Matt's gonna get a little comeuppance for that. I'm still kind of like salty about that.
So I also have an Austin theory about the Priest.
okay,
Rhea.
go.
I think Vince will like this. What
Shoot.
would you say if Bad Bunny came back?
Ooh.
Oh yes, Benito, bruh.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Not you got that.
No, I love that, Garn. Like, they could set that up pretty easily too.
They could. They can. That's why I was like thinking, like, oh, Bad Bunny would work, even though they had a blow off match.
Right?
Maybe it's like a Priest be like, I need help kind of deal. Like he would actually come to
It can
him
happen.
in a weird way.
It can happen.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, he's due to come back. I mean, hasn't he said that he's still not done doing stuff with WWE?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then here's the thing: like, obviously, yeah, they had that blow off at Backlash last year in Puerto Rico, and Damian Priest and Bad Bunny could just like bury the hatchet and like, you know what, mutual respect. We went to war with each other. We had our differences. You know what? I was in a bad place. Benito, you helped beat the shit out of me and beat some sense into me. So now I see where you came from. Let's do this together. Maybe I don't know if they can push this all the way to WrestleMania. I don't even know if I want to see that. But you could do like a Finn and JD or Finn and Dom versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, either at the Rumble, maybe that'd be cool to see, right? Or Survivor Series,
Or War Games.
War Games, yeah,
Okay.
hell yeah.
Okay. I like that.
I'm
That'd be
with
kind of
it.
crazy to see Bad Bunny in the War Games match.
Because
Yeah.
imagine War Games if you do Judgment Day versus whatever team Priest will set up. Maybe they'll do a surprise and let Rhea actually wrestle against men. I don't know. And then that same Survivor Series will be the Bloodline uh, uh, War Games match too.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll see, because they like to give women and men like one War Games match each. So like,
True.
so that might be the only little like hindrance in your little Austin Theory for
Yeah.
a War Games, but they could still bring in Benito, Bad Bunny,
Yeah.
and have some sort of collaboration with Damian Priest, because there's the history right there.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm with
Just
that. I'm with that.
I got another winner loser, one more, and
Okay. Okay.
I'll tap out for the end on that regard. So quick winner here is Zachary Wentz and Wesley,
Okay.
because former best friends. Maybe
Yeah.
they can reconcile down the line. We just talked about Bad Bunny and Damian Priest reconciling down the line. Maybe they can too, but in 2 weeks' time, they're going to be in a street fight here in Chicago. They're going to beat the shit out of each other. And they're winners because they get to let out some pent up aggression, frustration. But Zachary Wentz feels like he's in the right. Wesley feels like he's in the right. I'm not going to sit here and say who's right, Wesley. But regardless of who is right in the scenario, they're both going to get hands on each other. They're going to go beat the shit out of each other. And outside of the context of kayfabe, these two dudes are going to have a singles match in front of a big stage, national stage, and seeing those guys being the rascals, like in local indie scenes in the Midwest, seeing them come up in TNA, I'm happy for them. I'm a fan of their work, so they're big winners for sure. Loser here, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it to Trey Miguel, because he got that ass cooked. And
Hey.
he got whooped over in the NXT parking lot once again. He over there rechristened and revived the lure and mystique and danger of that NXT parking lot. So shout out to him. He's a loser because he got that ass whooped.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I mean, but the thing is, like, the NXT parking lot is never safe. You know what I'm
No.
saying? And my last winner, right, and is I got two, right? Shout out to Io Shirai and Bianca Belair having a dope ass match on Raw.
Oh,
I mean, the
killed
fact that
it.
we got that
Yeah.
for free TV was crazy. But I could watch those two have a match, all days of the week, right? Shout out. You know, Ethan Page coming over to NXT has really like changed his career, right? I feel like he's definitely upped the game in NXT, and I can't wait to see him and Trick, catch each other's hands for the NXT World Championship. It's just kind of crazy that CM Punk is gonna be the referee, though.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know what it is about NXT that they feel like they need to have a special guest referee in their NXT title matches. Maybe because of what happened in that Fatal 4-Way match where Ethan Page won the NXT title, where there was a lot of like commotion and hoopla and what have you. Sean Spears over here, like being the bonehead and like pulling out Trick Williams, breaking up the pin, costing himself and Trick the match. But they did Trick Williams as a special guest ref at No Mercy. They're gonna do it at the CW show with Punk, like you mentioned. So we'll see what happens. I mean, like, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. We're gonna be able to see CM Punk in Chicago. Why not?
Hey, shout out.
I thought he was actually gonna be announced to be the special guest ref for Roxanne Perez versus Julia.
And Julia.
I thought that's why Roxanne Perez came out to confront him. And I thought he was going to be like, well, actually, my big announcement was that I was going to be the special guest ref for your match, at the CW. I thought that's what that was going to be, to be honest.
That actually might be better than him reffing Trick and Ethan Page. Because, he might get involved. Tim, what's up, Tim?
Speaking of Chicago boys.
Right. Shout out.
Shout out to Tim.
The thing is, like, you always see that theme, like, let them fight, right? Right. Well, speaking of fights, right? Panera Bread. This might be the next fight that Tony Khan decides to do. He might have this next match at Panera Bread, right? Because I don't know if you've seen this news footage of Panera Bread having a brawl for all.
You want me to hit it, or you got it?
Let's hit it. Garner, have you seen this?
I have not seen this.
Okay, check this out.
Is it gonna be similar to like Waffle House fights?
Something like that.
All right.
Like basically, there's like some altercation that happens, right? And this person starts like just throwing all the shit on the counter. You see
Thing
that?
is, yeah. I think that was just like a regular like customer too. Like no lie.
Yeah,
And
and then
like the
like
dude with the long hair is the dude that's just pissed.
I mean, look who comes in out of nowhere, like Sandman. You know what I'm saying? Using the damn tray.
Yeah.
Homie gets it put into the coquina clutch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, Coquina Clutch, what was Shayna's Baszler's move called again? I keep forgetting. The
Uh,
Oh crap!
the Core 4
Uh,
Clutch. Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot the name of it. But you know, whatever it was, a sleeper move and all that. That is a sleeper move in the wild in public is pretty nuts, right?
Yeah. No, fuck crazy, honestly. Like I saw the whole scene and I honestly was just like sitting there laughing, rolling. Because I had already seen it. Because when you were already talking about the Panera Bread brawl for all situation, I already knew exactly where you're going for. Like the dude with the long hair, getting his ass choked out. Like the Panera Bread employee too, the one that decided like I'm gonna jump in there, tackle this motherfucker, put him in like a coquina clutch, and start yelling, "Call the cops! Call the cops!" But the one that killed me was like the female employee that came out of nowhere with a what was it, like a
Well, a
pan or
tray,
something?
bro.
A
She
tray,
she
just
she,
smacked
she
her with
took
a
the
tray.
croissants off. She took the croissants off.
Gotta
Took the
make sure the croissants
baguettes.
are good,
You know,
Can't
yeah,
fuck up
oh
the
yeah,
croissants.
shout out. You know what I'm saying? Took off the souffles. Like, yo, let me get this real quick. I need to save my coworker. Right? Hit him with the, and
Yeah, no.
yeah, I mean, shout out to Panera Bread. You know, they held it down for their employees. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's better than most managers in my workplace that I've ever experienced. So like,
You say your manager wouldn't take a French bread, the tall one, and clock somebody in the head if need be.
if I'm being honest with you, I don't think he would. I think he'd be the first
He'll,
one to like run
he'll
out of there.
run.
He was like, you're on your own. You're on your own. Like I ain't gonna do it.
Oh man.
I ain't getting paid for this.
All
You know
right,
what?
all
Can't be
right, all
mad because
right.
I'd probably dip too. Like I ain't gonna sit there and fight for Panera Bread. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that. That couldn't be me.
Listen, I mean, they all have insurance. So at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I mean, who's really saving who here?
That's
But I will
true.
tell you, somebody who is saving, right, is Chance the Rapper. Okay.
Okay.
So going into a little bit of news, right? Chance the Rapper volunteered at a Raising Cane's here in the Shy, right, to help donate some money to social workers and everything like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't even
Mm,
hear about that, man.
Yeah, doing some
Honestly, I don't.
charity out
mm.
there. Do some
I
charity.
don't really be
You know?
hearing about Chance the Rapper anymore. To be honest with you, so like for him to be going out in public and doing something that's news worthy for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
facts.
Yeah.
The other thing that I was just seeing today from the homies at Backside of Ball, they just tweeted this thing where Derek Fisher, right, former Lakers, right,
Yeah, D
he
Fish.
compares the NBA to the WWE, right.
Okay, let's hear this comparison
His
now.
quote says, "You listen to the guys that played before. The coaches before. You listen to them. It's a different game, and it's not a negative thing. It's just you're built more for entertainment value, and maybe it will enhance the competitive value." So he's saying that
Oh,
today's NBA is sports entertainment.
Okay,
Um, thoughts,
he's.
thoughts, and
I
and how
mean,
can we get Derek Fisher to get on the show?
hey, you know what we can't do? We can't sit there and like brush him off and talk shit about him like Jeff Teague did when he was playing. Have you seen that clip from Jeff Teague's podcast where he talks
Yeah,
about his
yeah, yeah,
experience with D
yeah, yeah.
Fish? And then he like has like a like like D Fish was going through it. He's like, no, you don't understand, young player. Like you gotta play a role here in the NBA. You go watch my clips back in Utah and Golden State. I used to get buckets. all that stuff. Then Jeff Teague, fast forward, it's like, you know what, D-Fish was right. You know, he was going through it. I'm over here. You got to play a role, you know, because he's over there in Milwaukee and what have you, playing with Giannis. You know, he's no longer that dude like he was in Atlanta. So I don't know, man. D-Fish, like, I don't know, man. We'll give you the rock. We'll give you your just due. We'll put your clips up if you join the show. You know.
Well, okay. If I had to compare him, since he made the comparison to NBA to WWE, if I had to compare him, I don't know about you guys, but knowing his situation, what he did, I might have to say Edge.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Because remember how like he stole Matt Barnes' wife and that whole situation?
Oh. Was that, bro? At that point, no, Tony. It'd be Tony Parker. That's rated R, because he's over there. He's over there. Brett Barry's wife.
Brett Barry. Yep. I was going to say that's Tony Parker.
Yeah. No, it's like if anybody's gonna make a comparison, yeah, like Edge, rated R superstar, Tony Parker. That's the dude in the NBA. He literally did it to his boy. He's one of his own dudes. Like,
my gosh.
Like, ah, man.
Oh, I feel you. But, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into the reason why we're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, go ahead, homie. Hit that audio.
If I could just...
And now, Sweaty Session.
All right, so basically, Sweaty Sessions, right? The tie into this is because the PWI Top 500 is out. Garn, you seen it?
Yeah, I seen it. Hold on.
Okay,
I seen it. Sorry,
we're not really going to discuss about our thoughts on the top 10, top 5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'll just say, look. Your favorite wrestler is on the list. They made it, whether they're 252 or 69, like our homie Dom. Shout out. You know what I'm saying? As long as your favorite, as long as the person you like is in there.
Yeah.
What's up?
Is Dom really number 69?
Yeah.
Shout out to homie Dom.
Shout out. No, but like, yeah. As long as the person you like is on the list, whether or not they're there or not, I mean, yeah, okay. I'm not going to get into the reason why Roman is not on there. I mean, there's qualifications, there's rules. He didn't make the cut. I don't make the list.
I got gripes about it, but we ain't going to talk about it.
That's for a different episode. But since that, right, you know, I feel like certain wrestlers need to have a certain attribute or accessory to get themselves over, right? So our GETCHO PW list involves accessories, right? So we kind of came up with top 5, top 10s of top wrestlers' accessories. Now, the way you want to do this, do you want to go one by one, or do you just want to go list off like the ones that we all have?
I say
I'm pretty sure we might have some overlapping ones, but I do have some obscure ones.
I got some obscure ones too. I got some, you know, like some regular, like obvious ones for sure. You know, the way I wrote it down was, you know, it's called PWI, so I was trying to look for a name for it. It's like we could call it pro wrestling items. You know, like items that you get like with Pokemon in the Pokemon games that you add to your Pokemon type of thing. So how about we do this? How about we each list off like 2? We go 2 by 2. You know,
quick shout out to Dom, Powerbomb Jitsu in the building.
Shout out to the homie.
Shout out
for sure. So this was your idea. So why don't you kick us off so you kind of get a taste for what this is? You know, like what are some famous like or iconic wrestling items, objects, accessories, stuff like that?
I think we'll switch off. We'll do. I'll say one, you say one, right? And if we all have the same one, scratch it off. All so the first one I have off the bat, right? And obviously this person is iconic for his Riz lines, right? Val Venus, right?
Ooh. Okay.
Val Venus. We all know Val Venus is nothing without that damn towel. Okay,
that's true.
Well, actually, it's when he doesn't have the towel where he's most appealing in the court.
When he has the towel, it's the build up to the strudel that he's carrying. You know what I'm saying?
That's
okay.
All right, it's a build up to the lightsaber that he's hiding. You know, the thing is, there's nobody anywhere that does that twirl that Val Venus does when he takes it off. He does his little twirl and shit, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it caused somebody like myself who gets out of the shower to do something just like that.
Look, man, we're gonna separate the gimmick from the from the actual person for the segment's sake. But yeah, man, like I agree with you with the Val Venus towel. I thought about it. I didn't want to add it because don't really fuck with him currently, where he currently states and whatnot. But I'll go with an easy one, and I think a one that everyone already feels like I would go with. And I'm going to go with the OG route, and I got to go with Eddie Guerrero's iconic lowrider. And he'd have so many variety. Like, you see a lowrider now, like, you want to talk about pro wrestling items, objects, whatever, that would be in the top 10 or, like, top 50 of this version of the PWI. Eddie Guerrero's lowrider, for how long it stood the test of time and how iconic it is. Like, you see a lowrider, you think of Eddie Guerrero. You know, either that or Pimp My Ride. You know, but it's mostly Eddie Guerrero.
Hell no. No, I mean, listen, not just low riders, but low riders, because the amount of different ones he's came out in throughout his time on SmackDown is iconic. You know, I know that there's the famous one because he showed up on the Lowrider magazine, but there's been countless different versions throughout his days. I mean, just think about how crazy it was. Like, he would come out in a lowrider for just a SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Just a SmackDown. Not even fucking SmackDown. That's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, mine's a obscure one, but I have good reasoning to put this on this list.
Okay.
Because we know wrestling all through our lives as something as live, and obviously it's scripted, but it's not scripted to a point where it's like a televised show, like a televised sitcom or an actual drama playing out into action. So, with that said, I selected Matt Hardy's Vanguard 1. Because this is
I forgot about Vanguard 1! Dude!
Snaps.
Yeah. Just the fact that he created a whole new genre of wrestling and made it entertaining and still make it pertain to wrestling, you know? And Vanguard 1 was part of it. Crazy character development and just outlandish, ideas. And this was such an outlandish idea to the point where cinematic matches was a thing,
It definitely, man, Matt's not my favorite Hardy brother. Neither is Jeff.
No. Yeah.
But, Vanguard 1 was a really cool, unique thing. Like, some people may not have liked it. It's hit or miss, hot or cold. Some are lukewarm about it. But, regardless of the fact, Vanguard 1 is still very iconic. And everyone that is in wrestling that was watching at that time is synonymous with Matt Hardy. You see, now you see a drone like that, I think of Matt Hardy. Similar to Eddie's lowrider.
Actually, have you ever seen a drone after Matt Hardy? Not really. No.
Are you saying Vanguard 1 is responsible for a drone apocalypse?
I didn't say that.
Listen,
yes.
I will say, not only did I agree with you, right? But I also felt some type of way when I seen the Inner Circle take down and beat Vanguard 1.
Yeah.
Remember with Lloyd the Bat? Right? Beat up Vanguard 1. I shed a tear. Kind of similar to when Mufasa went down. I like it.
Oh.
Not Mufasa, bro.
Shout out James Earl Jones.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out.
But
rest in power.
Here's one. Dom just put this. Iconic Mr. Sacco, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. That took Mick Foley to another level. I also will say that also took somebody else to another level, right? And I would say it was an important accessory. Al Snow's head. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
The plastic mannequin head. You had that? Okay.
That was on my list.
The plastic mannequin head, right? Al Snow was probably the one of the most versatile wrestlers.
Hmm.
But similar to Ricochet, he just didn't have like a charisma or character, or really not good on the mic. But when he had that head gimmick, right, for whatever reason, it just got him over. I mean, we talk about like Bray Wyatt with the lights, everybody doing, with the fireflies, and Jey Uso had the lights for a little while. But man, to
Yeah,
have that scene where everybody in the crowd had a mannequin head
that
and
was
they're bobbing it at the same time was crazy. Um,
Yeah.
I think it was ECW when like the entire crowd like threw the heads at
Yep.
Al Snow. That was
yes.
just
Yep.
wild. That was just wild.
Now you mentioned Ricochet. I was wondering, would Ricochet benefit by having an accessory to actually
Yes,
get him
yes,
over? And
yes.
what would it be?
I thought Garn was going completely different route. It's like I wonder if Ricochet got some head. Would his promos be any better?
Oh, that-
Hell no.
That's if he was
Hell
still in
no.
WWE, he would have probably got it. But ready.
Honestly, what he could have done is just did what like Francine did for Shane Douglas. Have Samantha Irvine come out,
Okay.
with him.
Mhm.
That would have helped. That would have helped.
See, it would help, but like Samantha Irving's still with WWE, so obviously, like he should have never dipped
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
No.
don't think he's in a better spot. Like not to backtrack, but I don't think Ricochet's in a better spot. Going back to the list though, do want to remind everyone, like, thank you guys for listening, watching. Comment down below what would you nominate in the PWI of wrestling objects, items, accessories, items, stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna go a little bit more current here, and
All right.
I look, man, it's an easy one. I'm taking easy answers to begin things. That's what you do on your first time. You do the things the easy things, the simple, basic stuff. But there's nothing basic or simple about this because it's so prestigious. The Anawai Fatu family Ula Fala that's being fought over currently by the
Oh.
bloodline. It's
Yeah.
gotta be one of the top PWI like wrestling objects right there,
Yes.
accessories.
Oh yeah, for
No,
sure.
you're right. You're right.
It's up
I mean,
there.
listen. Like they're just like the Larry bracelet. It's up there in importance.
Mhm.
For sure. Do we
Oh
do we
yeah.
want to put the CM Punk bracelet in there or not?
Well, that's I mean that's kind of the one that kind of spawned this whole idea. But we'll leave that out for a second. We'll
All
leave
right,
that
all
out.
right.
Okay.
We'll leave that
Okay,
out.
but I'm with you with the Ulafala.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, so
for
the
sure.
second one, the one that I have on my list, right,
Oh,
is very similar to what Al Snow needed, right, and not this wrestler is like known for his brutal, hard strikes, right, but he didn't really need this, but it just added another edge to him. The shillelagh that Fit Finley would use.
Yes, the
Mhm.
shillelagh, bro. That's on the list too.
The shillelagh. I mean, Fit Finley will fuck you up regardless. But when he brought that shillelagh, dude, like he meant business.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
it's similar. It's similar to when Joe Jackson would use the belt on the Jackson 5 kids. Like he meant business. You know, he meant
Hey,
business.
and you know what?
R.I.P. Tito. R.I.P. Tito.
R.I.P. Tito. R.I.P. Tito. Yes.
For sure. And then you know what? Shout out to the greatest mass wrestler of all time, Sheamus, bringing back the shillelagh to prominence.
Oh
Yeah.
So it's like it was made synonymous and famous with Finley back in the day, back in those ruthless aggression era days. Now you got
Yes.
Sheamus using it. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit bigger. It's either it took some blue chew or it's definitely not suffering from that Tony ED
It doesn't
over
have
there.
a confidence crisis.
It doesn't have a crisis of confidence. No, that shillelagh is fully erect, just like my wrestling fandom.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
All right.
I like the shillelagh. Gorn, go
Yes.
hit us with two, bro. Go hit us with two. 'Cause
Okay.
Justin skipped.
All right.
Oh, did I? Oh my god! I'm so sorry.
Yeah. That's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right. Anyways, I'm gonna take it way back a little bit. Back where I like in the 80s, 90s, where wrestling was in a golden era. Everyone was using different objects, like Fuji's using salt, Undertaker's
Yes.
urn. There's one object back then as well. Doesn't get enough praise. That's the slap bucket from the Godwins.
Oh,
Get the
okay.
fuck.
Okay.
I
Let
thought
me
that.
explain.
All right. I mean,
Go
it's
for it.
kind of
Let me
nasty.
explain.
Getcho,
First
90s
off,
Getcho
yes,
hepatitis shot.
it is in a bucket. But when those Godwins come out, everyone feared that bucket. They
Oh,
even have moves around that bucket where they put the bucket in the corner and they would take the guy's head like in the corner if they're outside the ring. They would try to get the head into the bucket and preventing them
yes.
to get it in it. So if you have moves and like move sets that relate to this bucket, that means something.
I
Two,
mean, fair. Yeah.
you build up that bucket to try to stop Sonny back in the day. And
True.
who would love a dirty Sonny
Yo.
Bruh.
back in the day?
Okay.
Go on.
All right.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I
Okay.
see where you're going with that, Garn. What about a
And
different
wait,
one?
well, yeah, okay, but let's go around the same. I would say even older than that. I would say even older than that. There's been one item that everyone uses, especially in Japan, where it's very prominent. It's still prominent now in WWE. It's Mist. Clearly,
Okay.
Mist
Oh,
Okay, I like
has to
that.
be an
yes.
object.
Yes.
Every Japanese wrestler that goes to WWE uses Mist. That's always going to be
Yeah.
that identification for any for those wrestlers. It's well
Okay.
known.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And
Yeah.
as you
Shout
And
know,
shout out
there's a
because
list. There's a list that shows you the different mists, right? The different
yeah, the
levels of
effects.
pains. Yeah. What were we gonna say, Vince?
I was gonna say like yeah, shout out to Muda, because he's the last wrestler we show on the beginning of our intro. So yeah, like Miss definitely gotta be
Facts.
in there.
Facts.
mhm.
I'm feeling that one for sure. I'm gonna circle back to me and then give it back to Just so we can get back to our circle rotation. Uh, I'm gonna rattle off two quick ones because I feel like they're two easy ones.
All
Um,
right.
and I think we could all agree here, and that's gonna be Undertaker's urn.
Mhm.
It's already we already mentioned it. We kind of
Yeah.
brushed past it. I'd
We
be
don't need
doing
to
it.
mention it because it's already number one in my opinion, but that's fine. We
But
don't
we
have to
gotta
say
list it.
anything.
We
Yeah,
gotta rank it. We gotta
go
add
ahead.
it onto the urn. Matt, my co-host on the Smack It Raw podcast.
Shout out. Shout
Uh,
out.
I wouldn't do him justice if I wouldn't include the urn. But not only the urn, I also got to include his another favorite wrestler of his, and that's Bray Wyatt's lantern because it's so iconic. Because here's how
Yep.
Hmm.
iconic it is. God rest his soul. He's no longer with us. Wyndham is no longer with us, but you feel his presence when you see that urn when with Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. It feels like he's kind of like there for them. I'm not even gonna make no kind of like Dragon Ball Z reference or any kind of joke, but it's there and it has the impact. So for sure, the Bray Wyatt urn, fucking dope. I remember one time. I remember I think it was like maybe 2 years ago. I went to like the Harry Potter experience here in Chicago at the Water
Yeah.
Place Tower,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they had little tiny urns, and they had me like a grown ass man in his 30s doing like the Bray Wyatt, we're here, blowing out the urn, like the lantern. My fault, but yeah,
Right.
you got to include the lantern
No, dude, very symbolic, very iconic. I like that. I like that finger snaps. That's dope.
for sure, for
Um,
sure.
this is not okay. This is I didn't have this on initially, but because you brought up Bray Wyatt, I would also include the rocking chair.
The rocking
Mhm.
chair for sure. Yeah,
The rocking chair too, because I mean, like that's another indication that the Wyatt family was showing up too. They would always
yeah.
have the rocking chair rocking by itself, and then they would appear. It's also symbolic to Bray Wyatt's career when he, did the whole evolution of himself with the Uncle Howdy, and then even now with the Wyatt Six. So that's definitely another object, I guess you could
I
say.
like that. I like that for sure.
Shout out.
Justin, go ahead, man. We'll let
Okay,
you. Why don't you hit us with two, man?
I'll
Since
get
that's
you with
what we're
two.
doing.
Okay, I'll get you with two. So you're saying that one doesn't count like two more?
Uh, no, I see.
Okay,
Just
okay.
let's get
Okay.
more in here. So like
Since we said Undertaker, right? And I don't know how y'all feel about this, right?
Uh-huh.
There's two things that make the American Badass Undertaker very iconic. It's the dead man walking beanie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The beanie
Okay, love
and
his
the way
beanie.
Undertaker wore it, it like covered his eyebrows, so it like was right on the eyelids,
Mhm.
right? So it had to be worn that way, right? And then his Sarah tattoo, okay, because because American Badass Undertaker at that time was just a brutal machine, just a
Was
brutal machine, right?
he had
Like
some good neck on him for sure.
dude. I mean, there could be a podcast, there could be a show where I will kind of defend that the American Badass Undertaker might be the best version. I'm just saying, I don't know,
Like
right?
I wouldn't sit there and disagree with you. I might even sit there and entertain the conversation and hear you out, Justin, because like you got a point. Like it was one of the most interesting versions of the Undertaker. It was the closest version to like the actual man, Mark Calloway himself, for
Right,
sure.
right.
For sure.
So I would say those two objects for me for Undertaker for
Okay,
sure.
I like that. I thought you were gonna go with like his bike, his motorcycle, either
Oh,
Undertaker or
Yeah.
Chuck Palumbo.
see, he's so good, he can have his own list. You know,
Yeah, and honestly, we should do a PWI Undertaker items. To be honest with you.
Oh yeah, that'll be a big one. That's a surprisingly long list actually. Anyways,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah. Go
I
ahead,
got
Gar.
one. All right, obviously, I wouldn't consider this an object because it's alive. But obviously, we back in the '80s and '90s,
uh-huh.
when you hear Jake the Snake, you obviously hear Snake. And
Yes.
first off, live animals at a wrestling event very rarely used. You could only mention a few on your hands, like Worms, the bulldog from British Bulldog,
The dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Pepper the dog for Al Snow if you want to go up obscured, or the
Oh
parrot
my
for Coco Beware.
god.
You know, you don't see a live animal, and you
Yeah,
know
that's true. I mean, Pharaoh. Shout
that's
out to Pharaoh. He did
Pharaoh
his last
is
walkout with
yeah
Cody.
yeah that's the like yeah, but then it's not like a consistent thing.
Right,
So
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
that era of having like an animal companion that's the golden era. That's the height. You don't
Yeah.
see it. You don't see it much, if anything, in not in modern times.
Right.
For
You know
sure,
what I
because
mean?
you also saw it like in tag teams, with the Road Warriors. Hawk came out and he had his own animal with him too.
Mhm.
Get
an
Joe.
animal, an animal had a hawk.
Exactly. So they each
I mean,
had each other.
we did have an animal, a big ass animal, as world champion on SmackDown. He would wear a white
Yeah,
turtleneck
yeah.
by the name of
Ivan.
Batista. By the name of Batista.
Yeah, Ivan said he was 50-50 for sure. Both versions were the best. What he did is open to
Uh-huh.
the audience, especially to the kiddos, that Undertaker is human and not ghost or zombie. I like that too, because it did leave him a little wiggle room to be who he is now, like doing his little podcast, like 6 Feet
Right.
Under podcast and whatnot with Mark Calloway. So just to circle back to that. Garn, do you have another one, or do you want me to like
I
tag team on what you
here,
did there and go with the same
here
thing?
you could tag team because the list after this is so obscure that it should not be on any should be on like a what the hell you were thinking list. But let's go ahead, go tag team on mine.
Okay.
It's fine.
So just because it's the same theme, I got two in the same ballpark, Garn, and then you can go off with yours again. So you were talking about items, Jake the Snake. We're talking about Jake Snake. I want to use euphemisms here. So Triple H's sledgehammer, we're gonna talk
Yes.
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah, of
Yes.
And
course.
then Sting's baseball bat,
Oh
two
my
hard
god.
items,
Yeah.
they would use to
Yeah.
take out their enemies, talking about snakes, hammers, bats,
Yeah.
like I'm all
Oh
for
my.
penis euphemisms and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that, so obviously, especially Triple H's sledgehammer, like it was so iconic and definitely in those evolution days that you knew
Mhm.
shit was about to go down, shenanigans were about to go down, and then quite the contrary with Sting's baseball bat, when he was coming down, he was going to lay down the law. He was coming here to correct things, and ironically enough, He did that against Triple H in his debut at Survivor Series way back when in 2014, if I'm not mistaken about my years there. But yeah, like Sting's baseball bats, Triple H's sledgehammer, like those are two that I feel like are iconic for sure.
No, you're right. And then the way Triple H would look at the sledgehammer when he would take it out, like he would like stare at it as if it's like
talking to him.
You know, if it was Mir.
Mjolnir.
Yeah,
Mjolnir.
you know
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
He's the only one that's worthy, apparently.
All right. I want to be obscure a little bit because I'm down for the underdog for most of my items, and these are just like one-offs, but they're synonymous for that one character because of their one-off. So, one of my objects I had was the scale for Crash Holly.
Oh, dude, yes.
For the super heavyweights.
Yes.
This, I'm just saying, it's the scale of him proving that he's a superweight influenced a whole video game genre where No Mercy had Crash Holly set as super heavyweight, and you wouldn't be able to body slam said Crash Holly
in the game.
In the game, you're not able to because he's a super heavyweight.
In the game too, like it was a thing.
Well, I remember when he would come out, his weight would be like crazy, you know, be like 600 pounds. Like, yo, come on now.
Nah, it was in the game for sure. I like that one, Garn, and that was a good one because that one's not on my list for sure. So shout out.
Oh yeah, because that's why I'm like I'm here for the underdog. I have another underutilized underdog item.
Okay.
It's Moppy from Perry Saturn.
Oh,
yes,
a whole storyline with Moppy.
This is when he was like weird, right? Like he was coming out with the grunge, or like he had the wig and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a complete different like.
It was different from Head.
Era.
It was different from Head.
It's different from Head because it had the same function in the way of Head, like, as if he was talking to Moppy.
Yeah, but he thought it was real, like real.
For sure.
Exactly.
Okay. So, I like where you're going with that. We're talking about Mob for those of you guys that are joining in live, coming in there mid convo. We're doing our sweaty sessions right now, talking about the PWI for wrestling objects. And you talk about Moppy. I got to give another dark horse here. And speaking of horses, let's go all the way back to those WCW days and talk about Chavo Guerrero's horse Pepe. Remember he used to come out with the fucking horse. Like you said, Moppy, and then I started thinking about Pepe back in the day. Mexican Independence Day just happened on Monday. Shout out. Chavo Guerrero was probably in the streets of El Paso on Pepe, riding with flagging. All that stuff.
Hell no.
Oh my God.
Let me get this one out the way, right? Since we're talking about old school Garn, and I should have tagged on earlier, but you were talking about Damien the Snake and what it did for Jake the Snake. Coco Beware's parrot, right?
Yep.
It did him, gave him the tropical vibes and everything that he was going for because it was a parrot, right? But the most important thing that it did was help him find the pushers for where to buy his cocaine. Okay. Because WWF at the time was really, really, they didn't play that, but he had his parrot go scope out where to go buy it. So shout out to the parrot.
For real? That's not a real thing, is it, Just?
No,
it's the first time I'm hearing it.
I'm making it up.
I was about to say I thought this was legit. I you had me worked. Like I was like you shot, you did your shoot, worked me, man. Oh man. Okay. Look, we talked about famous objects, weapons. I mentioned the baseball bat for Sting, the sledgehammer for Triple H. I got a few other weapons. And obviously, William Regal, shout out to him. His brass knucks, iconic. Everybody's using brass knucks recently in recent memory, just like MJF. It started with William Regal. He's the one that I think about when you see the brass knucks for sure. Another one, Cactus Jack or Mick Foley. Barbie, his barbed wire baseball bat. Can't forget about her.
Oh yeah, iconic.
And then that spawned, having Abyss with Janice, the 2x4 with the nails. You know,
Yeah.
so like all these iconic hardcore
Uh,
weapons for sure.
Yeah, you can't. And of
Oh,
course, you
yes.
got to include Sandman's kendo stick, right?
Sandman's
Mhm.
kendo stick. You know,
Gotta
there's
include
there's a
that.
lot of stuff there for sure. Heck, you know, we've even seen guitars. You know, it started with Honky Tonk Man, went over to
Uh-huh.
Jeff Jarrett, and then even Elias over here. They
Yeah,
they all
yeah.
walk. They all walking with the guitars, and honestly, I love a good guitar spot. I think it's one of my favorite weapons. Also, I love hearing the guitar. You know, it's one of my favorite things to listen to. But yeah,
Hey.
man, it was really funny, and it was really good to see. I enjoyed it. But yeah, man, there's some good weapons for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at a guitar hitting someone in the head, the way it explodes. It's very,
It's
very
crazy.
like
It's
it's
crazy.
very cool looking.
yeah,
It's super cool. Just the way how everything looks like pieces will fly everywhere, and then
Uh-huh.
that little circle on the guitar, and somehow it's like them trying to fit your little head into that circle, and it seems
right.
like it always works every time you smash a guitar over the head, and their head fits in that circle, kind of deal. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a good
Um,
one.
Oh
how
wait,
many do you
fuck.
guys have? Do you guys have a lot more? Or
I can
okay, okay, yeah. See, I
fastball a
still got
few.
I still got a few. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
still
yeah,
got a
no.
few.
I got a few too. So, but I forgot to mention, like, I'm so slow. It just went completely right past me. I was talking about like Abyss's 2x4 with nails, the most iconic 2x4 for
Yeah.
Jim
Yep.
Duggan.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
come
you know,
on,
Yep.
how did I
come
forget
on,
about that shit,
Jim
man?
Duggan, baby. Yeah.
And you know,
I'm
we were
trying. Yeah.
talking about musical instruments. Can't forget about Francesca the trombone. You know, with Xavier Woods. You know,
Oh,
like
for
that's
New Day.
iconic.
Oh my
Yeah, for
gosh.
New Day for sure, man.
Shout out, shout out.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to talk about music, right?
Yeah.
So this is very iconic, right? And it's actually two pieces because it's a combination. Rakishi's sunglasses and hat for when
Mm.
when Too Cool would perform the dance, right?
Yes.
You
Mhm.
know, of course, the
Oh
vision would
yeah.
happen when he would put the sunglasses on, but the moves and the vibes would happen when he put on that hat.
Yes, for sure. And
Oh
you know,
yeah.
it was so good. It was such an iconic thing that people pop for and look forward to. That we were talking about No Mercy. It's in No Mercy. You can actually
Yeah.
have like that's how the post match situation happens. You know, you have Too Cool doing the dance. You know, so like that's one of the cool features as well. So yeah, man, like definitely iconic. I wanted to buy those shades too, but you know, obviously I need the glasses to see. So you know, unless I get them
And you need
prescribed,
to
you know,
dye your hair yellow. You need to dye your hair yellow to have the same effect. You know.
yeah, might as well, you know, for sure. Garn, what about you, man? You got some more?
All right, I got a couple Attitude Era things. I got two more obscure ones. So
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
start with my Attitude Era ones. Definitely, shout out to Steve Blackman's like weapons
Oh
when
man,
his intro,
those
well,
nightsticks or
especially when he
whatever.
does his nightsticks. Speaking of nightsticks, also Big Boss Man, that was also on my list as well. Um, I also put a big item for someone. It's I like iconic for this one wrestler,
Hmm.
Lita's thong.
Oh
It's clearly identifiable.
Bruh.
yes.
It's not a weapon or
uh,
any sort. It's just accessory. You said so. Clearly, when you
No,
see a thong
we knew that.
back in that time, you know it's Lita. It's clearly Lita. You know. My obscure ones. I had one. I have a couple here. So there was. It's only been used once
okay.
and never seen again. But I clearly remember it because how crazy it was. So was the feud with Kurt Angle and Big Show,
Okay.
and they had Kurt Angle had was it the world's greatest tag team with him, so it was Team Angle at the time,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and then Big Show uh, was like always fighting against them. So the way Kurt Angle had to try to stop him, he used a tranquilizer
Dude,
crossbow.
Oh yes,
I
yes.
remember you. I knew it. I knew you were going that route, man, for sure. Like, dude, it
Yeah,
was one of the craziest things ever. You know what? I'll nominate something there. Is the clippers he used to shave Big Show after he shot him with the
yeah,
tranquilizer? Because those are, I'm hoping those are the same clippers that Edge used on Kurt Angle as well. You know, those are like clippers that get passed down in wrestling lore. You know, these are the
yeah.
ones you use in hair versus whatever match. You know,
Because remember, Molly Holly shave or
Yeah.
Victoria shave
Yes.
Molly Holly's hair. You know, could be the
Mhm.
same clippers, iconic
Yeah.
clippers.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I got a few, and I'm just gonna rattle a few down the pipeline,
All right,
and
go ahead.
they might not get a chance to breathe like they should. But we're talking about Kurt Angle. You got to talk about his gold medal.
Mhm.
For sure, that's iconic. The Olympics just passed by, so it's hard to get one of those. So it was really valuable, and you knew that you can get to it. You can get to Kurt Angle, I mean, by like getting that gold medal from him. So synonymous with him, obviously. Obviously, I don't currently care about Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho's list was one of the most over things in WWE at the time when he was doing that list of Jericho.
Yep, that's on my list.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
That's my list.
See, list. I see what you did.
Facts.
It was on my list.
Drew McIntyre's sword. Obviously, he doesn't come out with it as much recently, but it was kind of like a thing. I think it was Angela the sword, or something like that. And it wasn't as deadly, but Selena Vega does carry around a chancla now, so I'm all for that.
Shout out,
It scared me growing up as a little kid when my mom and my dad had the chancla. They were either going to toss it, hit me with it.
It was a serious business.
I felt like a Jackson 5 when I was got hit with the
Oh.
Oh, who else got something, man? I got a few more, but you want to give
I got a pretty big one though. I just recall it. So we rarely see a gun in WWE other than two occasions. And they're both related in some weird way. So obviously, Pillman's got a gun.
Yes.
Pillman's got a gun, and then the fake gun that Austin tried to pretend to shoot Vince McMahon
with the bang, and then
bang,
like he pieces fans and shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's the only two times.
There's three if you include Brian Pillman.
Wait,
no, I include Pillman. I said Pillman's got a gun.
Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, so I got
I'll give you more towards Pillman because that was such an iconic scene. Like to this day, you hear people talking about that, and that's a gift now. Like people use that as one of the hardcore gifts for sure on social media. What about you, Just man? You got some more?
You know what? Okay, you said the gun, right? Obviously, Arn Anderson, Glock Arn Anderson, right, had a gun too as well.
Metaphorical
guns, right? I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember when WWE had like an energy drink and they promoted like X-Pac to bring the energy drink out?
Oh yeah,
it was called like High Energy or some shit. Like, but that was very like
it's an orange bottle. Oh, what is it called?
Yeah, they had an orange bottle, but then they had the black and green to match the
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So that was one.
What's it called?
I think it's just called Energy or something.
No, it was a company name. It was branding. It was definitely branding.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Bakley. He's in the chat.
Shout out Bakley.
It's not 5-hour energy. It was something else at the time.
Yeah, I can't recall. I don't even remember the segment, to be honest with you. I don't even remember.
It's old school, but I also got to give a tribute to Vader, right? He carried that Mastodon mask, that helmet that would shoot smoke. That would shoot like smoke in Japan. So that's very like synonymous with Vader, right? And then to some degree. I don't know how about y'all feel, right?
Okay.
Everyone talks about Goldust, right? And how dope he was, his in-ring entrance. But let's give a shout out to Terry Reynolds, right? Who would also come out with him. The cigar. Every time I think of a cigar, right? Obviously I think of the Bulls, but I also think of Terry Reynolds. Because that's what she was smoking.
The cigar.
Carrie when
I saw that
Goldust thing happened. Yeah. With the entrance.
I was trying to do research for this, trying to get some iconic ones, and I did see some people mention like Terry Reynolds cigar. So I mean, look, hey, it's a thing, because for me, this is gonna show my age here. I may not remember, like Terry Reynolds being with the cigar from the very beginning. To me, I think cigar I think Armando
Oh,
Alejandro Estrada. Shout out to him because supposedly he signed a Legends deal. He's gonna get some action figures coming up, and
facts.
hey, maybe he could be a wise man for a certain so-called tribal chief. So like, gotta shout out to him. Speaking of Latinos, guys, just help pivot here a little bit. Carlitos
Okay.
Apple. We can't talk. We can't forget Carlitos Apple.
The bitten apple.
I was gonna say the pocket knife that he used to stab John Cena in the nightclub, but the apple's a little bit more iconic. Keeping it with like Latinos. Eddie Guerrero in his roles for his mamacita, like he always came with his roses. Yeah. He might not be Latino, but he was sweet on us. We liked them. Tyler Breeze with the selfie stick.
Hey, yes.
It was, and you know what? He was doing that. He was ahead of his time with that whole selfie stick thing because you would see the entrance, you would see his camera view.
He would use
really
Periscope.
owned it.
Remember Periscope?
Yeah, dude, man, it was the thing. Shout out to Tyler Breeze. Breeze does not get the love he deserves.
No.
He's that dude. And just to circle back to some Latinos here. Talked about Eddie Guerrero's Lowrider. One of my favorite rides back in the day for Latinos. I don't know how other people feel about it, but I personally loved it. I'm talking about the Mexico's lawnmowers, man. Who can forget Psychosis' famous line talking about your ass is grass and we are the lawnmowers. Hey, I don't give a fuck what anybody said. I like those lawnmowers. I might have been leaning into the stereotype, but I kind of want to buy a lawnmower for myself. Put a little like a little cheetah print, like on the steering wheel. Get a little like a little hula girl to like be on the front to be like dancing.
Vince, you sent your people back 10 more years.
Oh my god!
It's okay. I can be a fool for one day out of the year. It's okay.
Hell no. Okay. The one I gotta say, because you were talking about China earlier, and I haven't seen another woman do this, but she had a cannon.
Yes,
remember
she
when
did.
She would come out, she had like a cannon. Remember? Right?
I'm not talking about the one she had right here.
Hey.
Those cannonballs.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
You a fool. But yes, yes, I would say definitely China's another one. Who's another one on top of my head? I don't know how about you feel about this, right? Jose Lothario was kind of an object for HBK.
What?
Jose Lothario?
Oh man, bro, I have to sit there and think about it.
Because I mean, like, listen, HBK and the relationship between those two, awesome. But did he really need Jose Lothario though?
Listen, man, he was trying to get the Latino vote. It was an election year. That's what he was
Hell no.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Trump out here trying to use Nicky Jam and Anuel, Shawn Michaels back in the day. He was trying to use Tony Lothario.
He was trying to get over.
Yeah.
My God.
Bakley, yes. The sweaty session for this episode is wrestling items. We're doing an homage to the PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated like top 500 wrestler list. We're building our own PWI wrestling items, objects and stuff like that. So that's kind of like we're doing. We're listing it off right here. You were talking about over the head or something like that. I'm talking about under the head. Let's talk about Wendy Chu's pillow. Especially when it's loaded with the North American Championship in it. That right now, look, Wendy Chu, Sleepy Chu, like Spooky Chu, whatever kind of Chu you like, you see that pillow, you better run, man. Like it's good. It's original. It's unique to her.
It's iconic.
Especially she loads it up with a foreign object in there for sure.
Hey, shout out Bakley. We thought about the same thing. We did mention Al Snow's head pause. I'm glad that we're both thinking about his head also pause. Okay, I'm gonna throw it back to also Chris Jericho too. The taste of the bubbly. The taste of the bubbly really was Jericho's last great gimmick. Like that era, the Inner Circle
that
era,
was the last time, yeah.
That was the last time when he was really doing something.
When you're able to market what you're saying to become an actual product, that's always a big thing. So
listen. Yes. Speaking of things you drink in the wrestling business, No, you talked about a little bit of the bubbly.
Oh, I see.
We got to talk about something that made it a little bit bubbly and like a good drink to hold out. And one of those iconic guys was Gangrel and his blood chalice,
That
or like
counts.
his goblet of
The
blood. You
goblet of
know,
blood.
goblet of blood. You know, you come out
Oh
there,
my
spit it out. It
gosh.
was so iconic.
Yeah.
And because people, we forgot to mention it with Triple H, his water bottle and then the spit. But
Oh,
Gangrel was doing it too with the blood, and it was really
with
cool.
all
Like,
type of blood types,
bro,
A, B,
yeah,
positive.
yeah. Just no ED. Just no ED. Hey, listen, I remember being a little ass kid, getting my Hawaiian punch,
No,
putting it
no.
like in a little like wine glass, getting
You
in
want-
there and then spitting it out in the
Oh.
backyard. It was cool. It was fun. I
you
loved
turn
it.
you turn on the song. You right? You the
Bro, to this day, like we were talking about wrestling theme songs with Death
Mhm.
Rebel and how much they suck. To this day, the Brutes theme song is one of the most goated
Oh.
theme songs in all wrestling.
You did an episode.
Yes.
Shout out to Straight
Yeah.
Talk, right? Did you do
Yeah,
that?
Sure.
shout
Yeah.
out for sure.
It was it's up there.
This is also a thing that got spit out of someone's mouth. Let's talk about Mr. Perfect
Pause.
Scum and how he always managed to always flick it and get it right in the right spot, man. You can tell it was never.
The gum didn't mean anything. It could be Trident. It could be
Yeah.
saying what's the other one? Wrigley's. But the fact that it had to go through his spit and the way he would chew it, it made it perfect.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
So
like.
No, go ahead, Gordon. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish off my list here. So
Okay.
straight, I had. Let's see here. We obviously had straight up cash with $1 Million Man. Money always wins. Everything has a price. Everything. So not only that, with him and the $1 Million Championship belt, which at the time, obviously, who creates their own championship belt then? So
People
other
have
than
money.
once he created his championship belt, people started doing theirs, like Taz's FTW championship. We have Zack Ryder's Internet championship just for kicks, but it's well known. Surprisingly, everyone creates their own championship then.
John Cena
and doesn't have
John Cena,
John Cena, and customization of the title after that.
right.
Let's see here. I had an obscure one, the hockey stick from the Goon. If you remember who the Goon was.
Hell no.
I had the list of Jericho, but underneath that I also had Clipboard by Miss Hancock in WCW.
Oh, that's old school. That's
old school.
Yeah.
Any weapon that Sandman carries in a trash can was on my list.
Right.
So every time he has an intro, he always carries a can with him. So, even a chair for Raven, even just a chair, because he always carries a chair as a guitar.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's like a guitar. But and on top of that, the chair for La Parka, because he always dances on that too. So yeah, that was my obscure list. So
okay, I got a few that I'm just gonna run down too. Okay, so obviously Razor Ramon's toothpick, iconic, right? The other one that I'm gonna also put. How could we forget the Dudleys, right? The tables,
yeah, they
right.
Even their glasses.
The glasses, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Steve Blackman with the. I don't know. Was it kendo sticks? I think they're no.
No, it was his. He had two short sticks that he would do his intro, and they glow in the dark.
Yeah, we have it in the intro, like like there's like lightsaber looking thing.
It's it's a nightstick, like Big Boss Man, which we were mentioned before too.
Looking like one of those party robots, like quinceañeras.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to is what's his name? Oh, what's that fucking the guy that fell through the wall?
Jericho?
No.
Work the wall.
WCW.
Oh,
Shockmaster.
Yeah, the Shockmaster. The wall and the helmet, right? It's an
Yes.
object, right? That definitely has to be. I don't care. It could be the bottom of the pit, but definitely it's going to be on there.
The
Um,
bedazzled
the
stormtrooper helmet.
yeah. And I gotta say, another kind of iconic, Vince McMahon's do rag.
Ooh, do-rag man. That was the thing. That was the thing. I remember, man.
Right,
Was
right, right.
wilding
That's
out with that
it's
for
kind of
sure.
there. It's kind of there.
Okay.
But yeah, anybody else in the chat, anybody else that sees this episode, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah,
Let us know, Twitter X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Hit us up and tell us your favorite wrestling objects.
for sure.
But this was great. Shout out to Circle Debate for letting us do this. We'll likely be back again here next
Yeah.
week, likely the same day, hopefully
Yeah.
the same time. Hopefully with the rest of the homies. But yeah, Vince, tell the people where they can find you at.
Oh, hold up.
What else? What else?
I don't want to pull out just yet.
Oh,
I
okay.
have 3 more. I have 3 more.
Okay. Satisfying.
Oh.
Satisfying.
Okay. I got one.
You better
I got
finish
one
it strong.
I got hey, a lot of pressure there. I got one serious one. One more like serious, and I got two unserious ones. Which ones would you rather have?
Let's do unserious.
Let's do
Unserious first and then the serious then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Unserious one. R.I.P. Judgment Day's PlayStation 5. It was a running gag on Monday Night Raw for like weeks on end, and like it really solidified like Liv Morgan being pissed off by wrecking that PS5. Another unserious one. We were talking about the Dudleys. I was trying to sleep this one in. Shout out to fellow Filipino out there. Deacon Batista's collection box. He was coming out there with the collection box.
Yes.
He didn't say nothing. That's what Ricochet should be doing. He's coming out with collection box. Like asking people for donations to help him on promo classes. Something like that. So like those are 2 funny ones that I wanted to make sure I included in there. Like Deacon Batista's collection box and obviously the Judgment Day PS5. Because I'd be pissed too if they ripped up my PS5. And the serious one, though a little bit more legit one, we talked about wrestling objects because they're synonymous specific wrestlers. Let's talk about a wrestling object that's just synonymous and iconic in of itself, and each individual wrestler that holds this item goes ahead and maybe adds a little flair, pizzazz to their own little spin to it.
Oh, I know.
That, of course, is the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yep.
It's so iconic. And right now, you look at what Tiffany Stratton is doing.
Yeah.
She got like the Barbie pink, and then she's got like the strap on, strap on.
It's like a purse. I like that.
No pun intended. And it like a purse, like a handbag, like one of those laptop bags. Mm-hmm. I like it. Otis, he had the lunch pail. Like the lunch pail one. That was definitely one for sure. Iconic ones for sure. Yeah, Brock Lesnar, he had like the boombox on it. Like it was the whole thing.
Damian Sandow's was like a briefcase. Remember?
It was a nice, like a well-leathered briefcase.
Yeah, it was like a leather one. Yeah.
Basically saying at this point, Dick Tonga might as well be Evil's walkout object. I'm not watching.
I like that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hey, Bakley, shout out. You understood the assignment. You understood the assignment.
Understood. But now
you know what? I'll add one more.
Okay, go for it.
And that's Shotzi's tank.
Yes, the tank.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a good one.
Hey, look, we closed off with a Filipino. I love it.
Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out.
But
yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this and you enjoy what we do here, Vince, tell them where to find you at.
Yeah, for sure. Follow me on social media at SES Vince. Social media links in there take you to everything that I do. Obviously, go ahead and check out the Smack Raw podcast every Saturday night. New start time this week, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Check that out. We're going to be spitting or swallowing the week of wrestling. So if you like what we do here, you're definitely going to like the stuff we do over there. Or, if you just want to see more of me getting belittled, you get it over there. Giving a hard time. We go back and forth, spit swallows, all the poppy love over there. Check it out.
Right. Give them Moses a check out. Also getting off too. Check them out too. Every other Sunday. Fridays now, right?
Yeah.
So check that out. Create Your World. Give them a shout out. Also, again, check us out here at the Circle Debate. Check out the YouTube channels, right, with all the podcast shows that they got going on. Everybody has great content over here. Also, check out Marks and Mike's Culture Class, right? Check those homies out as well. Powerbomb Jitsu, those are my homies.
Yeah.
Guys, if you enjoyed this, please check us out on every podcast available: Spotify, Apple. Get your podcast there on the Twitter. Get your podcast on the Instagram. This was dope. First time is in the books. Vince, I think we should just hit it with the outro.
Yeah, you got it. Or you want me to do it?
Go ahead, homie. I'll let you do the honors.
All right.